this is Dubai Shambhavi and today I am here to demonstrate cranial nerve examination. So as we all know that there are 12 pair of cranial nerve which originates from the brain. So we'll we'll perform all the 12 cranial nerve examination. So I'll start with the first one. So as we all know that the first one is the olfactory cranial nerve. As the name suggests that it is related to sense of smell. So before starting my examination, I'll introduce you all to my patient. So what's your name and age?
My name is Narendra Kumar. My age is 22.
Okay, so today I'm going to perform cranial nerve, all the 12 cranial nerve examination on you. So is it alright?
Yes.
Okay, so here we begin. So the first one is, as I said, it is olfactory nerve related with the sense of smell. So for that, firstly I'll ask my patient that if he was having any cough or cold in previous days or any kind of viral infection. So were you having any cough or cold?
No.
Okay, so and also I'll check whether his nasal passage is open or not. So for that I'll just block his one nostril and ask him to sniff. So here I begin. So now I'm compressing your one nostril and you breathe in and breathe out from the other one. Okay, now for this one. So it is absolutely fine. His nasal passage is fine. Now I'll ask him to close his eyes and I'll place some fragrance object which has certain fragrance and he has to recognize the object. So can you please close your eyes? Okay. So this is the object and now I'll place it here and ask him to recognize it. So can you please sense it?
It's lemon.
Okay. So as he was able to sense it, you can open your eyes. So it was lemon, he sensed it. So first cranial nerve, that is olfactory nerve, is absolutely fine. Now we'll do the second cranial nerve examination, which is the optic nerve. So as since it is optic nerve, so it is related with the vision. So for that we'll perform a series of tests. So basically we'll start by the visual acuity, by assessing the visual acuity which is related with the central vision. So for that we need a Snellen eye chart. So basically we have placed the chart 20 feet apart from the patient, and now I'll ask my patient to cover his eye with one of this card, and he has to read the smallest line of letters possible. And yeah, so can you please cover your one eye?
E, D, F, C, G, P.
Okay, with the other eyes as well.
E, D, F, C, G, P.
Okay, so you cannot read further?
No.
Alright, so yeah, my patient read the maximum letters, what he can read. So his visual acuity was 20 by 50. So yeah, it was okay. So now to further increase the visual acuity, we can also perform other test which is called as pinhole test. So basically, can you just give me? So basically in this to perform that test, you can you can use a card and you can make a hole over it and ask the patient to read through that hole. So basically because of this hole, the vision, it just focuses and the vision improves a bit. So yeah, we can use this pinhole test. Now another test which we are going to perform is for the visual field, which is for the peripheral vision. So basically for that we are going to do the first one, which is the static wiggle finger test. So I'll be basically one arm apart from my patient, and again I'll give this card to cover his one eye, and I'll just wiggle my finger, and you have to just tell me when you see my fingers. All right, so just cover your one eye. Okay, so here I begin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the other eye.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, since my patient was able to just see my fingers and recognize it, so yeah, his visual acuity as well as visual fields of his eye are absolutely fine. So now I'm going to assess the third one, which is the oculomotor nerve. So for that the oculomotor nerve basically is related with the pupillary reflex. So for that basically I'll assess my patient's pupil, the size and the shape of the pupil, and compare with both the eyes. So okay, I'll firstly see Can you please open? Okay. So yeah, his the size of the pupil and the shape is absolutely fine. Now I'll start with the first test, that is pupil reflex. So for that I'll shine this light over one of his eye and see whether his pupil constrict or dilate. So yeah, let's start. So open your eye. Okay. So as we saw, his pupil constricted, so it was absolutely fine. The pupillary reflex was fine. Now I'll perform another one, that is consensual light reflex. So for that I'll just part here, I'll place my hand and I'll shine the light over one eye, and I'll also see the response of the opposite eye, whether it is constricting or not. So here I begin. So can you please open? Okay. So as we can see, both the eyes were showing the same response, even though I was shining light over one eye only, but both the eyes were constricting. So yeah, this reflex was also fine. That means his cranial nerve 3 is, that is oculomotor nerve, is fine. Now I'll also perform along with this cranial nerve 3, that is oculomotor nerve, cranial nerve 4 and 6 are also very important. They play an important role in assessing the extraocular movement or the extraocular muscles of the eye. So basically, cranial nerve 4, that is the trochlear nerve and the abducens nerve along with the oculomotor nerve are responsible for extraocular eye movement. So for that I'll form an H pattern and ask my patient to just follow it, and I'll assess his 6 extraocular muscles. So yeah, here I begin. So I'll make a H pattern and you have to follow my hand, okay? So here I begin. Okay, so since I assessed, I made the pattern and he absolutely, I saw his eye movements were absolutely fine. So the oculomotor nerve and cranial nerve 4 and 6 are absolutely fine. Now another test for cranial nerve 3 is convergence test. So I'll just see my finger and I'll move it forward and you have to just follow it, okay? Okay, alright, so as we saw, the movement of the eye, both the eyes were moving medially at the same time, so the convergence test was also fine. So yeah, now we are done with cranial nerve 3, 4 and 6. Now I'll proceed further with cranial nerve 5, which is trigeminal nerve. So basically, as we all know that the cranial nerve 5 is divided into two parts, that is, it has two branches, that is sensory and motor. So we'll begin by assessing the motor function of the trigeminal nerve. So the motor nerve, the motor function of the trigeminal nerve is, we have to assess the temporal and the masseter muscle. So for that I'll just palpate my patient's masseter and temporal muscle and ask him to clench his teeth and to move his jaw side by side. So here I begin. So can you please firstly clench your teeth, just tighten up your teeth a little bit, and when I say just move your jaw side by side. Okay, now you can release it. Now you can move your jaw side by side. Okay, just alright, don't do it now. So I palpated it. It was I observed he was having no lumps or no any deformity or any kind of atrophy or any lump formation. So this was fine. So now I'll assess the sensory function of the trigeminal nerve. So basically, the sensory branch of the trigeminal nerve is divided into three parts, that is ophthalmic, maxillary and mandible. So now with the help of this cotton, I'll touch all the three parts of the trigeminal nerve and I'll ask him whether he can feel it or not. So can you please close your eyes and tell me whether you feel it or not?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For this side as well?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So as my patient was able to feel it, so yeah, his sensory function for the trigeminal nerve was also fine. Again, there is another test for sensory function of the trigeminal nerve, that is called as corneal reflex. We'll use a wisp of cotton, and I'll just open his eye, and I'll place ask him to look upward and away from me, and I'll place this bit of cotton over his cornea and see what is the response of his eye. So can you please open your eye and just look away from me and upward. Okay, now I'll do this. So as you can see, his eyes reaction was that his eyes were blinking. So this is considered as a normal reaction for the corneal reflex. And also now I'm gonna assess cranial nerve number 7, that is facial nerve. So basically I'll see his face, whether if there is any asymmetry or any abnormal movement, or any different contour. So for that, okay. So yeah, now I'll perform I'll ask him to do different expressions and to raise his brow and all that. So to just assess his facial muscle movement and all that. So can you please raise your eyebrow up and down? Okay. Can you please show me your upper and lower teeth? Alright. Can you please smile? Okay. Can you please puff your cheeks? Okay. Now you can. Now you have to close your eyes tightly, and I'll try to open them, and you have to resist it. So basically it's a muscle strength test. So can you please? Okay, I am trying to open it. So as you saw, I was not able to open it. So yeah, his facial muscles are absolutely fine. So yeah, now I'm done with the facial nerve examination. So as you can see, all the expressions were absolutely fine. So now I'm gonna do assess cranial nerve number 8, that is vestibulocochlear nerve. So for that, firstly I'll check his hearing. So for that we're gonna perform a very specific and sensitive test, that is whisper test. So basically I'll just cover my patient one ear, or block his one ear, or I can also rub the tragus, and I'll whisper and few digits, and he has to just recognize it. So here I begin. So here now I'm gonna whisper, and you have to just repeat what I said. Okay?
3, 4, 6.
Okay, now for the other ear.
8, 9, 2.
So yeah, he was able to recognize it. So his whisper test was absolutely fine. Now there are other tests. So I'm going to perform the Weber's test. So that is for the lateralization. So for that I'm going to use this tuning fork. So that is the test for lateralization. So yeah, now I'll place this over my patient's midline. And can you feel the vibration over which ear?
Middle.
Okay, so in both the ears?
Yes.
So now the another test which I'm going to do is Rennie test. So basically this test is for comparing bone conduction with air conduction. So usually for normal hearing, air conduction is more than bone conduction. So here I begin. So now I'll place this over my patient's mastoid bone and ask him when he stopped listening the vibration.
Yes. No.
Okay, so now I'll place here. Tell me when you stop hearing it.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, since my patient I just checked it, it was absolutely fine. His air conduction was more than the bone conduction. So this test was also fine. So now I'm done with the cranial nerve number 8, that is vestibulocochlear nerve. Now I'll start with cranial nerve number 9 and 10. So basically cranial number 9 is glossopharyngeal nerve, and cranial number 10 is vagus nerve. So as the name depicts, the glossopharyngeal nerve is related with assessing the pharynx, the soft palate, and the related structures, the tonsils, the uvula. So, and for the cranial nerve test, we are going to perform the GAT test. So basically, firstly I'll ask my patient to open his mouth and say ah, and we are gonna, for the GAT test, we will also require the tongue depressor if you are not able to see any the required things. So can you please open your mouth completely? Okay, so firstly I'm seeing his is there any deformities or any lumps or anything. So now I'll perform the gag test. So can you please open your mouth and say ah? So yeah, here you can see that the uvula is in the midline and the posterior pharynx are also there, and the soft palate is rising. So yeah, so as you saw that the uvula was in midline and the posterior pharynx were rising like the curtains, and the soft palate was raised, so it was absolutely fine. His cranial nerve number 9 and 10 were absolutely fine. Now I'll assess cranial nerve number 11, that is spinal accessory nerve. So basically for that I'll ask my patient to just sit over here. Now we'll assess his vertebral column and we'll see the symmetry, or is there any deformity or any lumps or anything. So yeah, it's absolutely fine. Now I'll assess for spinal accessory. So for that I'll ask my patient to shrug his shoulder upwards, and I'll put pressure and he has to resist. So can you please shrug? Okay, so as you can see it was absolutely fine. Now for assessing the sternocleidomastoid, I'll come this side and I'll place my hand. As you can see, here is the SCM muscle, sternocleidomastoid, and I'll place my hand and ask him, put some pressure and ask him to resist. So here I begin. You have to just resist it. So since now we have completed with cranial nerve number 11, now I'll further proceed with the last one, that is cranial number 12, that is for hypoglossal nerve. So as the name depicts, hypoglossal, it is related with the tongue. So basically I'll ask my patient to protrude his tongue and I'll see for any fasciculations or asymmetry or any deviation, and basically the tongue deviates towards the weaker side if there is any lesion. So yeah, so I'll use also a gauge pad to see my patient's tongue, and also the left and right side of the tongue. So can you please protrude your tongue? Okay, so you can see generally the tongue has roughened papilla, and now with the help of the square gauge pad I'll just see the side of the tongue. Okay, can you please again so yeah, I just assessed his tongue. So it was having no fasciculation or no lumps or no any atrophy or any infection. So it was absolutely fine. So his cranial nerve number 12, that is hypoglossal nerve, was also absolutely fine. So yeah, I assessed all his 12 cranial nerves and they were absolutely fine. So yeah, I'm done with my cranial nerve examination. So thank you.